Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fifth Line Podcast. We're back on, I was about to say, I almost said Free Agent Frenzy. It's not Free Agent Frenzy. It's Trade Deadline Catastrophe. No, that doesn't work. I should have thought of something, but I didn't. But as you know, Trade Deadline is, as we are recording this tomorrow, as you guys are watching it today. So we've already got some trades. They've gotten a lot of the big ones out of the way already. So we're going to talk about those. And then next week we'll get to all the ones we missed. But before we get to that, how are you guys doing?
Not too bad. Can't complain.
Good.
All right. We missed Benny last week. Ben, how was your week? How was your week and weekend last week?
Oh, it was pretty nice. I don't really remember much about last week, but last weekend I was home with family. We made some homemade sushi last Sunday. That was fun. It was the first time me and my brother had ever tried it, and we got the rolling with the. I almost said rolling papers. The mats that like the bamboo mats. Like it took a while to get used to, but we got into it after a while, and that was fun. And I just got back here late and still had to go fucking grocery shopping that day. And it was like, so I just knew I was probably going to be getting back late, and I didn't get back till like 9 or so, I think.
Okay.
But I was going to say, I hope the episode went well because I didn't actually listen to it yet. I listened to like the first 5 minutes.
Fake fan.
What was...
He's not a fan. He's on the show.
But I guess me and Eric just swapped positions this week.
Swapped it out. Yep.
What's he up to?
He's doing
He's at that game.
He's at the game.
He's at that.
Oh, I didn't know if that was like, okay.
Well,
that makes second sense. That's in Connecticut.
Yeah, he had to drive down.
He was telling us about it last week while you weren't here. It's in Connecticut.
Yep. So
Nice.
That's in Connecticut. So Eric's seeing a Connecticut whale. I think we talked about this on the show because I think he told us on the show.
He definitely did.
Connecticut whale versus
The Toronto Six.
Toronto Six. That was it. Yep.
I think that was who it was in the pictures.
Yeah, and so that was down in Connecticut. So that's why Eric's not joining us today, but we'll probably get him next week when I'm sure Nick will have something come up. So we'll
just
keep the trend rolling.
Going.
Yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to teach one of you guys how to record.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say you're never gonna be able to miss because you're the only one that can record.
No, yeah, not for
I
a
could
while.
probably figure it out.
Not for a while. I won't be able to miss. But yeah, so Ovechkin has made another milestone. He jumped another player in the all-time goals list.
Jaromir Jagr.
He gets
He
gets into third, passes Jaromir Jagr, who gives him a nice little congratulatory video in which he hints at a possible future return to the NHL. He's coming back.
I love Jagr. I love Jagr, and
that's what he said.
I'm sure he was just like, oh yeah, let's make a fun video. I don't see him returning to the. Maybe, who the fuck knows, guys? They need more bodies all over the end. It would be the best, but like he was already not. He was already kind of. Yeah. He was not really keeping up with it when he was on. I think it was the Flames like 2 or 3 years ago. So
he's coming back to coach.
Now that would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't see him as.
I don't see that happening, but that would be interesting.
I don't think anybody saw St. Louis being the coach of.
That's true.
Montreal. So
I mean, I don't necessarily mean like in the sense of, oh, it was an unexpected hire. I just like, if I look at Martin St. Louis, I'm like, he was a smart player. He always was like, had the effort there. Like I could see like aspects of a guy who could maybe be like, oh yeah, he could coach. With Jagr, I don't see him running a bench. Like I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me.
Isn't he running that Russian team? Like, isn't he part owner?
I think he owns it, but yeah, he's also playing on it.
But then he owns it as well. So it's like the coach can tell him what to do, but
yeah,
no.
But also, who's telling Jaromir Jagr what to do? Like,
also true, yeah. Yeah, because what is he? He's what, 50s now? Is he?
Did he get to his 50s yet?
He's got to be.
Jaromir Jagr.
I hope he comes back.
If he's not, he is very close. He is 50 on the dot.
There it is. Wow, that's actually younger than I thought. He looks older. No offense to him, but
I mean, he's been putting his body through
I
it
mean,
for a
yeah,
while.
that's very true. Very true.
Yeah. But anyway, congrats, Ovi, on taking third. Maybe change your Instagram profile picture.
Yager's coming for
Anyway.
you. Yeah, so now we're gonna get into all the trade deadline. That's all we really got this week is Ovechkin does that, and now we're getting right into the trades. But before we do, I just wanted to remind everybody watching, if you're enjoying this, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Head over to the Instagram, our Facebook. We have a Twitter. It's all over there. All over there. Right there.
Love me some good calls to action.
Go check it out. But yeah, so let's go first through this trade. Did we go? The Sherratt trade had already happened.
No, it wouldn't have happened last Sunday. It happened Wednesday.
It wouldn't have. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go into that one then. Let's jump right into that one.
It was some of the best news I've ever reopened Twitter to after because I was in doing a trivia night at a bar with some friends. And then I walk out after an hour and a half and check Twitter, and I'm like, they traded him. They got their first rounder for one, which, sure. I mean, I always was hoping that they would, because there was so much talk of it for so many fucking months. God, I am glad they did end up holding out and they waited and they got their deal that they got for him, because it's a fucking fantastic trade. But I had gotten so tired of waiting for a goddamn Ben Sherratt trade, because it feels like all of the reporters have been tweeting about it since January. I don't know if I've just been seeing it a lot, but so when it happened, I mean, obviously Ben Sherratt, thank you for the stuff you've done for the team, but first rounder, fourth rounder. Oh yeah, first rounder is next year and unprotected. Unlikely Florida's going to bottom out, but it's hockey. Who the fuck knows? They lose a couple particular guys, they might not bottom out, but they might get bad enough for it to be an okay pick. And then if not, it's still a first rounder for Ben Sherratt. And thank you. Fourth rounder, I think, is this year. And then Ty Smolonic. I'm not going to lie, I do not watch a lot of Quinnipiac college hockey games. I've done a little bit around about him, and it sounds like he might be an okay prospect, but I don't know enough about him. Hopefully next year he gets into maybe their rookie camp, prospect camp, and not prospect camp. It'd be, I don't even know all that, but he comes in training camp. Maybe he gets a look, see what we got there. Maybe he comes into the A. Maybe he's useful. Who knows? It's still an insane package for an expiring deal of Ben Sherratt. But what did you guys think about it?
Well, I think that you guys don't get that first if you don't retain 50% of the salary. So I think that's why that happens. But it's not very much. But
yeah,
it's Florida. We're talking about Florida here. They're in the same cap situation as Tampa. They're right up against this. They're right up against the ceiling. No, it's as a Tampa Bay fan who likely will end up having to play Florida. If on the road to a cup, they're most likely going to end up playing Florida if they can get, that far.
Sure.
Not looking forward to it.
Yeah, I hope you're ready for
cross checks enough in the regular season, so I'm sure it'll just be great fun for the Lightning boys.
It was fun when there was because leading up to this, there was all kinds of discourse about Ben Sherratt as a player on Twitter, and a lot of people being like, why the fuck is anybody interested in this guy? Because you look at all of his advanced metrics and it's not good. And then people brought up the whole playoffs thing. Oh, well, nothing gets called in the playoffs. And then somebody was, I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been Jay Fresh, was like, he actually takes penalties at a higher rate in the playoffs than in regular season. And he did slightly. But my counterpoint to that would be,
imagine how many are not getting called.
He should have about 40 more for each series he played in last fucking playoffs, with the amount of shit he got away with. It was insane. And that is what NHL playoffs currently are. I don't see any reason to expect it's going to shift miraculously going into these playoffs, that they're going to start calling all of that. So he's useful in that sense.
Nope. No, it's not going to be. They're going for it, as we'll see from the next trade.
Yes.
But before I do you see him? Do either of you see him re-signing there, or do you see him testing free agency and seeing what kind of price he can get on the market?
Probably depends on what they do. if they can. I mean, obviously, they're like you alluded. There's another trade that they made that's basically proving that they're going full send.
That is
So
true.
if they win, maybe he'll pull like a BOGO and sign a cheap deal for a couple of years, or like Pat Maroon, right? He's not worth.
yeah.
I mean, he's not really worth it, but he's gonna get paid decently.
It also,
I think if oh no, Mike, sorry.
I was gonna say it also. If they go for it and win, and he is like, ends up being like an awesome player, like plays really good minutes and proves himself to be a good player, and then all of a sudden his stock is woo.
Right.
I will say something that will probably help him a lot in Florida is that he's not going to be any higher than second pair, and he might even see third pairing minutes because like who they got Ekblad,
Well, I can tell you. We got Mackenzie Weegar, Brandon Montour, Lindbohm, Gustav. Okay, I don't think I'm looking at the right thing. I'm looking at Daily Faceoff, looking at their lineup, and they're missing some. So
I think
Ekblad
Ekblad might be hurt right now because I saw a thing about him going on LTIR until the playoffs.
Okay.
So he'll be back for the playoffs. So you'll have Aaron Ekblad in there.
Yeah. Mackenzie Weegar. Yeah, I thought they had more. Gudis. They got big Radko Gudis, so now they've got two. They're gonna put those two together and just be like, just go out there and murder everyone.
They're gonna run him out
he needs to have somebody mobile with him. I will say that.
Okay.
It's the two big guys from the Mighty Ducks.
The Bash Brothers. Yeah. Yes.
No, they're probably gonna pair him up with like Montour or somebody because
that's what I do.
Yeah, but whenever he in the rare times he actually gets some like lesser assignments, a little less like because he was getting run into the ground all of the playoff run last year because he was playing 25 to 30 minutes a night depending on if overtime or not because the Habs really only used like 4 guys the entire time. I don't know why they ended up even they should not have had a 6th defenseman. They should have just done 5 defensemen and had a spare forward because they weren't doing anything with him. But I think he'll benefit a lot from having a much lesser workload than he was forced into in Montreal. So,
right.
And then I think if they go on to answer the re-signing question, if they go on a run, he's already pretty favorably viewed among a lot of more old schooler type GM heads and whatever. If they go on a run and he plays some pretty big minutes on maybe like their second pair, he looks to be like a pretty big part of what they do. He's gonna get some dumb money this offseason. He's gonna get something stupid.
I mean, look at
somebody's gonna give him something.
Yeah, look at Savard.
Yeah.
Savard barely even did. That. He got like he played well.
He assisted on the goal that eliminated them out of the playoffs, and then Bergevin was immediately like,
"We need him.
you are the one from Tampa. We need David Savard for 4 years.
Hey, he's French Canadian. All right.
Yeah,
that automatically adds on $1 million to the salary.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
the second trade.
Hope he does well. Anyway, second trade.
I hope he doesn't. The second trade.
Oh yeah.
Giroux. Which it was 2 teams. It was down to 2 teams when I was listening to 32 Thoughts. It was Colorado and Florida, and I was like, "Geez, either one of those is going to be."
Yeah.
Just geez.
And then I was listening to the DJ show, the Chris Johnson show today, and basically it was Claude Giroux ended up saying, "No, Florida, please," because I think he has a no move, and that's why he ended up there.
Yep.
But yeah.
What did they get? I didn't even look to see what they got.
Let me see. I can bring it up right here. They sent Claude Giroux and Connor Bunneman.
All right.
Some prospect, younger guy, probably kind of throw in. Sent them to Florida for another prospect, Owen Tippett, a 1st-round pick and a 3rd-round pick. The 1st rounder being in 2024, which is kind of wild.
Right. Yes. So there's Giroux.
This is according to NHL Discussion. I don't know.
Okay.
They're usually pretty good.
Giroux. So Giroux comes in. He's a left wing, is he? I think he's a center, I think. But
I do believe, but I think he's been playing wing more primarily in more recent years, and will probably also in Florida, just because their center situation is pretty established, right? I want to say, or is it?
What I'm looking at is they've got Sam Bennett as 2C. So
I mean, that's not ideal.
Now he's 3C.
So I think they might want to do that because for some reason this daily faceoff thing I'm looking at also pushed Huberdeau down to line 2, pushed him down to two left wing to put Giroux on first line left wing.
I don't know about that,
which is wrong.
No, don't do that.
It's incorrect.
Yeah, no, don't do that. No.
But I mean, he could. He's making the team way better than they need to be.
Yeah, it's a fine addition. Like, it's a great addition. They're just fully all in, full set. Like you're saying, like
this is a make it or break it year because Giroux's not going to stay there. He'll probably end up going back to Philly.
Yeah, that wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, Sherratt. I mean, maybe sure, but like, they're all in. And I
don't forget they also picked up Robert Hagg today.
Yes. Wait, Haig? Hagg?
Haig.
Robbie Haig. Yeah, well, that's great.
For a 2022 6th round pick. Value deal right there.
That is value. Yeah. No, this team, this team, they've done all they can do on forward and defense. Now it just depends on how their G's do. Because that's what makes or breaks it.
It does. It does indeed.
We'll see. And that's, I think, another reason why they're really pushing this year is because they're like, "Ooh, Bobrovsky's playing well, guys. We gotta try and take advantage
of his good years. Yeah, when he has them, you have to go all in.
He's on a hot streak.
Next year, you're not getting it. So
no, next year, watch next year. It's better. He's like a 9. He's like a 930. Like, Jesus.
I'm desperately hoping for a cratering just because I want that pick from the Sherratt deal to be really good.
Oh yeah. Is it like top 10 protected? Is it?
No, that's the biggest part. They did not put any protections on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is now lottery protected. So if they just have tank, just a few injuries, if like a few things go wrong, which happens all the time in the NHL,
I would be surprised. Well, it is a lottery system still, so like they could somehow end up finishing in the lottery, like the last place in the lottery, and then still somehow get like a top 3 pick.
Yeah, but even then, like even if they fall to, you're not saying like 32nd, but if they fall to like 23rd, 24th ish or something, which is a realistic, like few big injuries on that kind of team, like you could see, then it's still going to be a really good fucking pick. Like for Ben Sherratt.
Yeah, for Big Ben Chariot.
It's something. Good old Chariot boy. Oh.
Well, I mean, I think that's about it for Florida. That's all they've done
Florida,
for now.
That's it.
It's one team going for it. Is Colorado's not really done anything, have they?
No, I was just gonna say. I was just looking at Colorado. They're potentially in sweepstakes for Kane.
Which Kane?
Patrick.
Patty?
Kane, Patrick.
Oh boy, that is. Oh boy, if they do that, oh dear.
Fuck Colorado. That would be interesting.
Yeah, because because Chicago's fully accepted and revealed that they're doing a rebuild, so they're trying to. They're like getting their guys out.
Which the young Brendan Hagel guy they had signed for multiple years sounds
probably could have kept that one.
You keep. I mean, I guess when
I'm gonna be honest though, they traded him. They traded. Yeah, they got way more back than. I mean, look. Okay, so we'll talk about
Let's
this.
just transition to that because that was the other big trade of the weekend.
So Brandon Hagel comes to my Lightning. We get Hagel, a 2022 fourth and a 2024 fourth. And now I still think it was a slight overpay.
I mean,
2 firsts.
yeah.
Holy Jesus. These are protected. These are top 10
Well, that's
protected.
good.
So
That's
if either of them are in the top 10, the 2023 will change to a 2025 and the 2024 will change to a 2026. If the Lightning tank and end up in the top 10 of
Sure.
draft picks. But then they get rid of their 2, I don't know if you call them prospects. They've been playing, I think both of them have played like 20, 30 games this year.
I feel just from my limited Tampa knowledge at this point, because last year them not being in the same division really kind of
Yeah,
threw
you
me
don't
for a
pay
loop.
attention. You don't pay as much attention. Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor Radish and Boris Kachuk, they're both probably like bottom end lineup sort of replacement-y sort of spare guys, right?
They are,
But
they're
decently enough. They're decent enough. Like they're okay.
They will be better, I think, because
Yeah.
this was their first year. They just made it out of camp, like this
Sure.
year. So this was their first year really, doing the thing. But I think they're both 24. So we got those 2 guys are out, which I liked them, but I mean, from everything I'm hearing, this Hagel guy is pretty damn good too. 23 years old, signed for 2 more years, I believe, at 1.5, which is something that Tampa sorely needs, is good talent at a cheaper price, just because they've got so many big contracts.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 2 firsts is a little excessive.
It's a lot.
But
Granted,
they wanted him, so
a couple trade deadlines ago, I think in the process of getting Barclay Goodrow and Blake Coleman, they got rid of 2 firsts.
They did.
On separate guys.
Yeah, but they did.
But...
Yeah, they didn't blow their first round pick load on one guy, along with two like almost established prospects,
2 usable players. Like it's a really good, like that is why, like on Chicago's end, you'd think, oh, if you're rebuilding, you'd want to keep this value guy, but if somebody offers you 2 first round picks and 2 other guys that are probably not going to be as good as Brendan Hagel, but it's 2 NHL players you can have that you can use in your lineup, which you need if you're going to be doing a couple 2 or 3 years of just kind of being shit. You still need some guys that are at least going to be able to go out there and
play.
Do stuff. They're not going to be great, but like they're going to do some stuff. So it's great on their end. I did find out something this weekend that made me very sad when this trade went through, because all of the I got real confused because I saw a bunch of different of like the tweets about it with graphics. They had photos of him, but in his headshot, I was like, "That's a fucking Habs jersey."
He was drafted by the Canadiens, was he?
No. Because the way he got to Chicago was he was an undrafted CHL player, and they signed him to some just bargain RFA deal just on a whim, just be like, hey, we're giving you a shot. And then he ended up being good. And then they re-signed him, I think, because I think this is the second deal he's on. But before all that, he was somehow involved with the Habs because they had him at their 2018 prospect showcase, and then they let him walk and did not sign him. And he went to Chicago. So I was like, how in this completely unrelated trade am I just finding a new way to be sad about the Marc Bergevin years?
Yeah,
but
there it is.
Anyway,
I'm excited. Everything I've heard, 32 Thoughts, Elliot Friedman, who's probably he's the guy. He was talking about how this kid's plays a very similar style to Blake Coleman. So if that's true,
and that worked out okay. For,
that's what they've been missing, is the Blake Coleman, Yanni Gourde, Barclay Goodrow line. So if he can bring a little of that in, that'd be sweet.
Well, hopefully actually, no, you don't get a third cup.
Yes. Come on.
What is this? What is this season like right now?
He just got like 30. I think I checked when they did the trade, and it was like 37 points. I didn't look at how many games, but I think it was like 37 points.
So yeah, on a not very good Chicago team, he has 21 goals, 16 assists for 37 points in 56 games.
That's not bad.
That's pretty
I'll
damn
take that.
good. That's a really good second, third line option
take
to
that.
have on your left wing. Like
They were switching. There was a Bolts game last night. I'll talk more about it a little later, but they were swapping lines out like crazy. Got John Cooper
just
was
trying to
he was just
figure out what the mix is now.
Yeah, he
with
was just
everything.
trying stuff.
Yeah.
But let's see. Let's go to the Hamonic trade because I didn't even know that this happened. I saw literally not a single thing until Nick.
I just need to know why.
Nick was
Because
wait. Real
there's
quick.
one reason why. Tom Shabbat broke his hand last week, so now they have no defense.
Mm.
Okay,
the rest of the
did
season.
Hamonic ever start playing this year though?
I think so.
Because that was the whole thing for like a couple months at the beginning of the year. He just wasn't playing for Vancouver, and I think it was a question about whether he had gotten the vaccine or not yet. And because he's in Canada, I think that was a requirement.
I think at that
It was
time,
like
yeah.
different. It was different. Did he actually get into games yet this year? Because I don't remember hearing about it. It was oh yeah, he's played 24 games. Okay, he's playing then, so he should be fine.
Wait, so did he? Was that a trade or was it just a signing?
So no, they traded for him. Ottawa had Vancouver's 22. This year's third round pick from a previous trade.
Okay.
So they basically shipped that back to Vancouver for him.
Nice.
Which I'm not,
no
exactly,
take backsies.
I'm not opposed to it. Like,
I mean, you need somebody on the back
They lost
end.
their defense, so
Yeah.
here's a veteran that can at least service you for a little while. He's been around for a bit, and he's signed for next year too. So I think that'll just help him even more. So they'll have him and Zaitsev.
What's the price tag?
Two old nutsuckers.
What's his price?
Not a lot.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't think it would be
less than 3.
Okay.
It is exactly 3.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
But I don't see them doing really anything else. I say that they did get their shit packed last night by Montreal. So
yeah, that was fun. That was a really good time. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm very disappointed in Ottawa's offense. It's like, here, Norris, you can score. They'll let Norris score, but nobody else is doing anything.
Literally just Norris. Brady was not having a good one last night, I will say. He was frustrated. But
no, so they got to go do something. They got too many young guys. I'm a big proponent of needing a nice hardy veteran in your lineup to mentor your young bucks, because that's all they've got, especially on offense. Their defense isn't. Their defense is aging a little bit now, so it's not quite as bad. But yeah, they got to help that offense a little bit.
I still don't really know what to think of Pierre Dorian. I'm not gonna lie. He's been a very confusing GM in his time. This summer, I think, is going to reveal a lot, because I don't think anybody expected them to tear it up this year, but with the way they ended last season, I think we were expecting a jump. Like, at least I was, in terms of where
they did jump. They jumped from worst to like 5th worst.
I mean, I gotta say that's something. But I'm curious. I'm curious what's gonna happen this summer. It's gonna
with the way Ottawa's team is built. I was expecting them to start having barn burners in most games. Like, if they were going to lose, it was going to be while scoring a crap load of goals, or if they were going to win, it was going to be like 6-4, 7-4, something like that. That's what I was picturing, just because they're built with, they got like good offensive guys normally, and they've got fuck all on the back end. So like, I was picturing
they got Thomas Chabot and
yes.
Yeah,
and
they have Thomas Chabot.
So I was
Nikita Zaitsev,
and they got all their like young.
Yeah, that's not saying much.
They got all their young star like future star forwards. Josh Norris, which I guess he's doing stuff. Like Stützle hasn't done anything.
This would be the second year of Stützle's entry level.
He's got
right?
one more.
Yeah,
so maybe you want him to.
Part of why you gotta make some stuff start.
Maybe you want him to do crappy one more year.
Did they
I mean,
use it?
yeah,
Is it
do
though?
another crappy
Is he
season
only-
next year, and then just be like, all right, well, like $3 million a year, man. Like, it's like,
Yep, you haven't proved it yet.
but I don't know. I feel like they could have done a little more to take advantage of those entry level years on a lot of those guys, and they just sort of have been there the last couple of years, and then now they're kind of all up, and now they got to decide who they want to sign. Which is it
All of
Josh?
them.
No, who's the one that is it Nick Paul? Is that who's the fucking guy they're looking at and who might get traded? I know
I think that was Nick Paul, yeah.
Nick Paul.
Because I heard
Yeah,
that,
There's been,
and I was like, whoa.
there's been too many names, but
Can't trade Nick Paul. He's the only veteran they have, and he's not even a veteran.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not that old. No, I still think they should try and get Chris Tierney out. Like, how was like
yeah, you could get something for Chris Tierney.
how is
Come
like
on.
not one of the like fringe playoff teams looking for like a Chris Tierney depth center? I don't get that, but I don't know. Maybe they're not.
I feel like that would be a Boston ad.
That's what I had in my head.
Yeah,
I
because
was like,
they
wow,
actually, yeah, it would super be a Boston ad because they don't got fuck all, and like that's their biggest problem is their center situation right now. They got Patrice Bergeron and who?
Coyle.
Because I know they've been using. They tried him at second a bit this year, but they've been using I think Eric Holla lately. Because the Coyle at second didn't really work, but ever since Krejci left, they've been kind of cycling through it there.
Yes.
So you think, I mean, I don't know if Chris
They
Tierney is
did.
your second line center answer, but you could use some help maybe. I don't know.
Yes, Boston didn't make an ad though. They added Hampus Lindholm to
They
their
did.
decor. He's a defenseman, right?
Yes, and then they signed him to a big old bunch of money.
Yep. So Lindholm.
Oh my god, they gave up a lot for him.
How much? Read it off because I didn't write it down.
A first rounder, a second rounder, another second rounder, some guy named, I'm gonna give this a go, Urho Vakanainen, I think,
Nice.
and John Moore. I don't know who either. I'm guessing young guys,
Young
maybe.
guys.
I don't know the Anaheim Duck system, so
No.
I'm not even gonna try. But that just feels like a lot. And then they went and signed him to 8 years, 6.5 per. I hope that works for you. I don't know. I mean, it's good in the moment. That just feels like it feels like a contract that could, in like 3 to 4 years' time, really be an anchor. Although, granted, I don't think they care about 3 to 4 years' time with the Bruins because they have about this year and maybe next, and then I think it's going to kind of fall apart there.
They have as long as Bergeron stays at his level. That's their window.
Yeah,
and Marchand.
Yeah, and Marchand.
Because Pasta's young.
Pasternak is young and good, and he's probably gonna be around for a while. But then Bergeron's got to be close.
He's
like
he's 30, 33.
Is he that young? I thought he was older than that.
I don't think he's over 35.
Am I just conflating his jersey number with his age?
I was doing that too. I was like, is he 37? But I was like, there's no way he's that old because we don't talk.
He's 36.
Oh wow! So he's wow.
I just know he's also had a lot of injuries over the years, and I think he's dealt. I don't remember what it is. I know he's dealt with one this year already.
Yeah,
and he's been out. He's missed time. I don't remember with what, but I don't know. I'm interested to see where the Bruins are at. It would
push them into the second round?
Just make me laugh so hard if they got Toronto again and did it again. Like,
yeah. See, I don't have the hatred for Toronto, and I feel bad for Steve Dangle. So I want them to get through one round just for Steve Dangle.
Fair. I mean, fair.
I want to watch a fun Steve Dangle video where they win a round. I want to watch the LFR for that. That's what I want to watch.
That's true. There's never been one.
No, there's not.
He's been doing that for like what 12, 13 years now.
I think
There's
it's
never
13,
been one.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Man.
It's pretty rough. Well, what's it been? 2004 was it?
Yeah, it was 2004.
Fuck, man. We've been lining these up so well. Let's go on to Toronto.
Let's just move right on to Toronto because they have done a few things.
We'll bring it in.
I think we'll start with the smaller one just because this was one where he had just sort of gotten played out of their like defensive plans. Travis Dermott just, from all the reporting I saw, they just realized they had Sandine over him, they had Liljegren over him.
Did he get traded?
He got traded to Vancouver for a 3rd round pick.
Huh.
And it just seemed like it was them finding him a new spot to just sort of get into somebody else's lineup. That is my vibe that I got from it all in terms of everything I was hearing.
Makes sense.
So Dermott is out. So who do they got left at D now? They got that new guy from Arizona, Labushkin,
Riley, Sandine,
Liljegren, Brody. Muzzin is hurt. And then the newest addition to their blue line is the bigger news is Mark Giordano.
Oh, they got him?
They did.
Somehow,
like just before this, it was like 2 hours ago or something.
He somehow got less value for Mark Giordano than Ben Sherratt.
Giordano hasn't been that good this year.
He's older than dirt, man. He's like 30. He is 37, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is quite up there. Like I don't know how. Like he'll be a helpful presence, and from everything I've heard, apparently him and Brody have had a past in Calgary where they click pretty well.
Is that right?
So that could maybe be an angle. Like you put him with Brody, then you give. I don't know who would Riley have, because I know Riley Brody has been their main like safe pairing.
Maybe you stick Giordano
Muzzin when he gets back.
Maybe you put Giordano with maybe you put him with was it Sandine, the younger dude? Give him a rock.
Maybe.
Give him a rock so he can go do his thing.
Yeah. But it was the trade was Mark Giordano, and Seattle also sent Colin Blackwell, who I think is just like a bottom 6 forward type guy.
I believe
from what I know of him. For 2 second-round picks and a 3rd-round pick. The seconds are from this year and next, while the 3rd is from 2024.
Another expansion team trading off or getting rid of their captain
immediately.
Yeah, that was. They honestly should have just gone the Vegas route, where you just don't have one for a couple years and then allow one to just kind of get established. And then name it, and then Mark Stone was a good choice. Yeah, that worked.
Yep.
So I feel like that would have been smarter. But anyway, Giordano to the Leafs.
They should have named Yanni Gourde the captain.
It wouldn't shock me if they do McCann.
Next. Oh, McCann, yeah, it could be McCann.
The only 2 other notes on Toronto is they waived Peter Mrazek because Peter Mrazek.
Oh, did they waive him? Oh, finally.
He's not so great.
He's looking like
this
crap.
year. And then also signed a goalie out of the, I believe, Finnish league. Olympic gold medal winning goalie Hari Sateri. Maybe.
Sure.
For the remainder of the 2021-22 season, but he will need to pass through waivers to make it to Toronto. And I will laugh so hard if somebody takes him.
Is he good?
So it won't be.
He won the gold medal in this year's Olympics. I don't know. They just needed goalie help.
That's true.
It won't be outside the realm of possibilities if they go get a goalie. Then,
hey, Ottawa, grab him.
Well, everything I'm seeing with Dallas is trying to get rid of Holtby too. So
I've heard the opposite. I've heard they didn't want to get rid of him.
I thought they did want to get rid of him while he still has value because he's been playing okay.
Have they decided if they're going for it, or like where are they in the standings?
I think they're gonna wait until tonight
Tomorrow.
at 12 or at 11:59. They're gonna decide.
All right, bear with me.
They're gonna just start making calls.
Dallas has been good.
Yeah,
games.
They're close.
They're only 3 points out of a wild card,
dude.
And they're 4 games back of
there's
Vegas.
A lot going on over there.
Is
well, you don't forget they've got all their injuries and stuff.
They've got a ton of injuries. Yeah,
they've got like Jack Eichel and yep.
I mean, to be fair to the guy, I've seen a lot of shit talking about Jack Eichel. He didn't play for a year.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying they have Jack Eichel.
Oh, okay, I see. And then everything else is just kind of hurt right now. Yeah, everybody else is,
And it's a hamstrung Jack Eichel since he hasn't played forever, and he's got his I'm sure his neck's not fully healed because that's not how
Like, yeah.
NHL players do things.
They also
Yeah.
haven't had Leonard in like 2 weeks.
Also
He's
true.
on IR.
It's not ideal.
Yeah,
That they're
sure
going to
could
be an
use,
interesting team to watch.
Could use a Vezina winning goaltender right about now.
Somebody named Mark.
Here you can get him for free.
Yeah, you can get him for super cheap.
I think that was only last summer's prices, though.
Yeah,
I think the sale ended.
yeah. Now it's a first rounder.
They really saw that one bobbled puck that Anderson tied the game up with and sent it to overtime and then just were like, we're just gonna tank our goalie tandem based off that alone.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I think we hit them all, guys. I think we hit them all.
Trying to think, did we
All
miss any
the big ones that I've seen.
Did we
until
miss
tomorrow.
any big ones? I just gotta bring up NHL discussion again. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Unless you want to like really.
I'm interested to see what Chicago does tomorrow. They're gonna do something.
You don't think they're done?
I think they're gonna be sending some people out. They haven't done.
I'd have to let me look at cap friendly here. I'd have to think Fleury's going somewhere. You know.
I think Fleury and Kane are getting dealt. They're going.
I feel like Kane's gonna be summer. Fleury is either gonna go tomorrow or he's just gonna play out the rest. I mean,
also Edmonton goalie. No, we're not gonna do that.
I think they've come out. I think they're doing.
Sure
I think they're riding with it.
Came out and said we're like, yeah, no, we're maybe gonna get a defenseman, and then
it's weird because Koskinen's been playing okay lately.
I wouldn't put my hopes. All of my hopes and dreams in him just having a good stretch.
So Kane is actually signed for one more year after this.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a rental. They'd want a lot.
I feel like that's a draft day trade where you get some time where you'll have teams that are going to have a lot more financial flexibility. It's kind of the same situation where I think Jeff Petrie is going to be in once draft rolls around for Montreal, where it's just. I think it makes more sense there. The only other kind of notable trade happened the same day as the Sherratt trade was Calle Yarncroke to Calgary.
That's right.
Yep.
For a second and third and a seventh.
That boy, Calle.
The boy, Calle. So that Calgary underrated, like they're.
Oh, I don't think it's underrated.
Too. No, actually, I think they're just well known to be good at this point. Yeah. They're going to be interesting to watch. I think they could tear through the Pacific Division in like 2 seconds once playoffs start.
A Calgary, Florida final.
That would be nuts.
Is looking more and more interesting as we go on here. That would be
like, oh man! How many hits per game would that get to? A lot,
dude. How many fights? How many times will Lucic fight? Sherratt?
Somebody
or Gudis.
I don't know if
is Sherratt a fighter or is he just a son of a bitch?
Sherratt can sort of fight. Maybe like he tries.
Gudis
he usually gets bought, or he usually gets beaten rather. But I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna stop talking because it's not going well. What's next?
All right, we're gonna take a little break because I gotta take this goddamn sweatshirt off. It's hot here. But when we come back, we're just gonna do a little quick thing about our team, about our own teams, and then we'll be ending off the show, I think. But yeah, so don't go anywhere. See you in a second. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. Who wants to go first? I don't know. You'll go first.
Because it's quick.
It's always quick.
Always quick.
You got to make merch. I will because
literally, I will because it's quick.
Just a Sens logo.
Let me just pull the schedule. All right. So last week the Sens had a rough one. They were 1-4.
Oh man.
Lost the Coyotes again. Lost the Blue Jackets. So let me just preface this before I start. They were supposed to have a easy week.
Oh no.
That didn't exactly pan out. So they lost to the Coyotes 3-5. They lost to the Blue Jackets 1-4. And I just want to see.
Easy as in
Norris scored 2 goals in the Arizona game. I believe he scored the 1 goal.
freaking A,
No,
man.
he didn't.
He's really got his backpack on, doesn't he?
Hold on. He scored another one against Philly in the win, and then he scored the one against Montreal. So out of the
Freaking A.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, he had half of the 8 goals in
For the
this
week?
week's. Yeah, but that's not how it's supposed to be. Anyway, yeah. So they lost to the Coyotes, lost to the Blue Jackets, beat the Flyers, and lost to Montreal. But to your point of what you were saying earlier, expecting them to score a lot, they really don't score more than four goals a game. I haven't really seen them.
4 is a pretty high number. I mean,
I
it's not
know,
high.
but we were talking about 5, 4, 5, 5 for 5, 6, 6, 5 games, right?
I would be expecting them to almost average that.
Right. No, they're not. They're
yeah. They're
I mean,
averaging closer to like 2.
The last shit show of the Arizona game aside being the loss 5 to 8, right?
Yeah.
They haven't scored more than 4 goals since then.
Oh, geez.
Which, I mean, okay, to your Ben's point, that's not bad, but no.
I've also I've spent so many
I also want to tell you this:
Habs scoring like 2 a game at max and just relying on Carey Price. So I probably have a bit of a warped.
Do you want to know the shot diff in the Coyotes game? That was pretty remarkable when I saw.
Yeah, give it to me. The Sens usually shoot a lot.
I remember
too.
that. It was didn't Arizona have like 15 shots and won?
So Gustafsson played goal that night.
Mm-hmm.
He was 10 for 14, and yeah, they had 15 shots.
Arizona scored how many goals on 15 shots?
5. So they had to have pulled their goalie at the end.
Okay, so we're looking at 30. That's a 666 save percentage.
Something like that.
Roughly. Oh dear. And that's
a bad
He's been
game.
pretty bad.
That is a bad game for sure.
Right. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's that, and then Shabbat broke his hand later in the week.
Yeah,
that was disappointing to see.
Salt in the wound.
Yep. So he's out for the rest of the year. The pickup of Hamonic is going to help him for the rest of the season. Obviously, doesn't fill the void of a guy who can skate for 27 minutes a night, whatever he does. So I don't know.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Very shitty week in Ottawa, if anybody was wondering.
Hey, it probably got pretty warm up there. At least couple days, maybe. All right, Benny.
But that's that.
Let's go east. Is that
Are
east?
we going?
That's east, right?
Yeah.
It's east.
So the Habs. It's honestly been a pretty nice week. I don't know. Starting with last Sunday, they beat the Flyers in overtime, and I caught the end of that, and it was a fun game. From what I saw, anyway, it was a really good time. That was nice. They lose to the Coyotes, but it was, if I remember correctly, Sam Montembeault did not have a great start to that and let in a few too many goals early on. And then it was the Habs almost got back into it. Cole Caulfield had a 2-goal night. So that was good to see. We're going to get to him, but we're getting to him. But so they lose that weird one to Arizona. They lose one to Dallas 4-3 in overtime. It was a competitive game, fun game, chippy game. And then last night, win 5-1 against the Senators. So they're either winning or losing and looking okay. And that's literally all any of us could have asked for most of this season.
Yeah,
once
right.
we realized, okay, this wasn't going to be their year. Just show some improvement. And they've been doing that. They've been doing nothing but that lately. And I just wanted to, specifically Cole Caulfield, 17 games under Marty St. Louis. What do you think the goals and assists are at now in 17 games?
You quizzed me on this earlier. I think it was at 8 games though. So I'm gonna say 10 goals. 17 games. I'm gonna say 9 goals.
Yeah.
And I'll say 10 assists.
All right, Nick.
I'm thinking 9 and 10.
12 goals
Oh, he thinks he's really sniping it.
and 7 assists.
Well, he has indeed really been sniping it because it was 12 goals.
Dad!
And he's also been dishing it because it's 10 assists for 22 points in 17 games under Marty St. Louis.
Put me and Nick's answers together. We got it right.
Yeah. Holy fucking shit, man. He has been
that's a lot.
just as him and Nick Suzuki together over the last, they've been the players that they were all the playoff run. Like they have been looking fully back. The rest of everything around them still isn't very good, so we are where we are still.
Yeah.
But it's just been nice to see a couple of the Habs players that need to be good for a while being good and like playing good hockey, and it's just been nice. And the other nice thing was Jake Allen came back this week, and it's been so nice to just have a just solid presence. Man, I love Sam Montembeault got to a point where okay, yeah, you're doing some stuff, but and then just their whole goalie situation all this year has just been a mess, and it's just so nice to have Jake back because the last he's played 3 games I think now, and all of them he's just been such a calming presence. It's good to have him back. Good to see Jake.
That is good.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I think he missed 25 games.
Oh, freaking
he was out for a while. They're gonna have I don't fucking know. They keep, I think the most recent one, there was a tweet they put out 2 days ago because he was at practice. They put up some video and were like, he's at practice today, no timetable for return. I'm like, okay, cool. Just at that point, just don't. I mean,
very
nice
reassuring.
Him, but what are we tweeting about?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Good to see Carey skating around though. That was nice. Hopefully he'll be back. I hope we don't get the Carey Price retirement this summer that I've been kind of scared of for most of this year.
I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think.
But coming up this week, they do have probably the hardest stretch of schedule they've had in some time because they got Boston tomorrow, Florida a couple days later, I think, and then Toronto next Saturday, which I'm going to go to, which that should be interesting.
There we go.
He's going to Gregoire's.
Are you getting some
wieners?
No,
we're probably going to be going through Plattsburgh, so I don't think we're going to Gregoire's, but I'll probably get a wiener at the game for sure.
Are you gonna? The question is, will you spill a $13 beer, or is it more now? It's probably 16.
It's probably more by now because this will be the first game I've been to in over 2 calendar years, which still feels kind of insane to me.
Pretty weird.
But it's gonna be good to get back. I'm looking forward to it, especially because it's the Leafs going in with my brother. It's gonna be a fun time. But that's the Habs. I'm interested to see. I mean, because this podcast is going to probably be immediately out of date. I'm interested to see what else is coming down the pipeline, possibly tomorrow in terms of return. Because if they don't do anything, I might be fine with it. They've already got such a massive return for the Toffoli and Sherratt trades. All the other guys that are out there being talked about are the 2 main ones I've heard are Brett Kulak and Archery Lekkinen. But the vibe that all the reporting out of the GM's office in Montreal has been sounding like, and the vibe I agree with actually, is they're both young, useful guys that you could just keep. They're not going to lose, because Brett Kulak has often, I don't know, I've always liked him. He's always been a really useful defenseman. He's not going to be a top 2 defenseman ever, I don't think. He's not that good.
Not a top
but he's
pair guy.
He's a solid 3-4 guy who just, if he's put with somebody competent who complements him well, he just kind of facilitates things. He's one of the few really good puck movers. Every once in a while, he'll jump up in a rush and just dangle a shit out of somebody. And he did that. He had a nice little goal. He jumped up last night and sniped it past whoever was in the Ottawa net. I don't even remember.
Was it?
But he's a guy I really wouldn't mind if they kept around for their blue line. If they could move some of the other blue liners, he's of the blue liners that are left over from Bergevin's time. He's one I'd really prefer if they kept.
Yeah.
And the other thing was Archery Lekkinen, who I think it was confirmed Kent Hughes, like it was reported, he was like, yeah, no, we view him as sort of part of the cultural fabric of the team, was the wording of the reporting, which sounded kind of weird, but they view him as an important part of the team or whatever, which is true. He had positive defensive metrics this season in Montreal. Like he's a very good defensive forward, and he's also, I mean, he's had a scoring touch this year that's probably going to drop a bit, but go next year because he's just been shooting higher percentage than he normally does. But he's 26 and an RFA. I'd really like to maybe see him back next year because I think he's a good forward. So I don't know. I'm happy. I like the Habs right now. It's fun. It's fun again. It's like it's been good. How about Tampa?
No, they're doing their thing. They're back on track. Last week when we spoke, they had just finished losing their third straight, or not just, but I think the day before they had lost their third straight, which doesn't happen in the Bay very much.
3. That's rookie numbers.
The game before when they lost their second in a row was the first time that had happened all season. So obviously, first time they'd lost 3, probably since frickin' A, man. It might have been before the season. Might have been before last season. Just because they just don't go on very many skids like that. But they brought it back Sunday night after we recorded last week, and they beat Vancouver 2-1. But man, Vancouver, they're coming on. I'm telling you, they're coming on.
They're hot.
They're coming in. They got a chance.
Fresh Travis Dermott arriving too. So who knows?
The Lightning then beat Seattle 4-1 on Wednesday, and then last night they lost to the New York Rangers 2-1. Which, let me tell you, that was a very playoff-esque game last night. And I hate how it ended, to be quite honest with you. Well, for one thing, the officiating was god awful. There were missed calls on both sides, which I feel like there was a lot more missed on that were against the Lightning. Like there should have been a Ranger penalty, but wasn't. Obviously, that's how I'm gonna feel.
Yeah.
But also the Rangers had like 5 power plays to Tampa's 2 or something, so. That also is like, well, come on, like if you're gonna fucking make the penalties even, make them fucking even. But especially when there's calls to be made, but whatever. It's officiating sucks. Officiating sucks. That's how it is. Whatever. But the Lightning lost. They had him. They were pushing. They had him in their own zone at the end of the third. They hadn't gotten a shot for Rangers hadn't gotten a shot for like 8 minutes in the third. It was just all Lightning. And then with like 2:30 to go, they Chernak high sticks Kreider. And then it's literally with 1 second left in the power play, Zibanejad gets a one-timer goal on the first shot of their last like 3 power plays as well. The Rangers had not gotten anything going on the power play. And
so is Igor Shesterkin good?
I mean, he made some good saves, but the Lightning weren't really like none of them none of them were fantastic. They were like
weren't testing him that much really. It was just kind of getting shots on.
It's like there were no like lunge across the crease, glove saves or anything like that. It was just good positional saves, which it's a good goalie.
I mean, there's a reason why New York is where they are this year.
And, he's part of it for sure. But no, the Lightning played a good game. They just couldn't come out with that one, but that's okay.
I do have some breaking Tampa news from Elliot Friedman if you would like it though, because it also involves Nick's boys. Because 4 minutes ago he said TB/Ott talking Nick Paul, and then 2 minutes later he said Nick Paul indeed to TB. So he's being coy with it, but it sounds like Nick Paul is heading to the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't know why he's being so fucking fake.
I hope we get Sergachev.
Yeah, fucking right.
Okay, he just said the return. It's Matthew Joseph and a 4th.
No. Okay.
Matthew Joseph is good though, isn't he?
Yeah, dude, I liked him, and he was coming on this year too. He was doing pretty
Booyah.
well. Nick Paul definitely scores more though, so we'll take him.
Yeah. So Nick
Senators
Paul
don't need Nick Paul to score. They got Josh Norris, remember?
I'm gonna get a Matthew Joseph Ottawa jersey.
Gross.
That depends on how long he stays there.
Gross. I don't even know what his contract. I think his contract might be up after this year, to be honest.
No, it's just such a weird Matthew Joseph. That's such a weird thought
Yeah.
on the Sens.
Yeah, that is odd. Well, darn. Okay, well, if that's true, obviously it's not really. It's basically confirmed because it's Elliot Friedman. But
Yeah.
if that is the case, then
You heard it here first, folks.
well,
You heard it here first from Friedman, and
From
also
a podcast.
when it gets
And also
posted
tomorrow.
Which podcast you heard it from?
But if that's true, Joseph, you're the man. Thank you for all the years. And honestly, just come on back, dude. If you'll sign for cheap, we'll take it back. But yeah, no, that's a good trade. That's a good trade for the Lightning, I think. And I don't know, I guess it's okay for Senators. They get another warm body and another pick, I guess. But we'll see.
Darren Dreger also has confirmed. So
All right,
there's
there's
a
two.
couple guys now.
All
So
right.
yeah, it's happened.
Matty
Yeah.
J out. Nick Paul in. What is he, a center? Well, too bad he's
No.
playing wing.
He's a wing.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. There it is. That's kind of cool.
He was their only player that was even remotely useful at the beginning of the season.
Nick Paul? Yeah, I know. I remember that.
What are his stats like?
They're
Nick
probably
Paul.
not great because
Paul.
he's slowed down a bunch, I think. But okay. Well, that adds a little bit more. What is he, Nick? Is
I wonder.
he an offense guy?
Is he? Are they gonna? Is it coming along with like?
He's a
is
third
he just
line
gonna be a
grinder.
rental? Is he just gonna be a rental, or are they gonna extend him?
If he'll sign for cheap, they'll probably extend him.
So he
Nick
has
Paul.
11 goals, 7 assists for 18 points in 59 games. It's not spectacular, but
He's also on an expiring contract for 1.3.
what are his past years like?
What is that trade?
He's
Oh,
27.
he only has 66 points in 227 games career.
Okay.
He's been good.
Wait
he's
a
been pretty
second.
He's 6'3", 224 pounds.
So he's bigger.
He's a third line grinder.
He's a big boy.
Weren't
Sick.
you missing your third line
Oh,
grinders?
shit, I guess I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Joseph.
I don't know. That's interesting.
That is odd.
That's interesting.
That must
gotta
be
get
it.
some
They're,
bangers.
they're rebuilding that third line slowly.
They
got
literally
Hagel,
just were like,
Nick
we're just
Paul.
gonna do it again.
They're gonna finagle something and get Gourde back.
Oh, that'd be wild.
They're gonna, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna give Canadians something for Shea Weber's dead contract, and they're gonna give Seattle something for Gourde. Booyah!
Oh, jeez.
That'd be sweet. You know what? You know what? Let's end it off there. Little breaking news. Oh, Jesus Christ!
What just happened?
I don't know what this is.
But
But
it was
Danielle just
thrown at
threw
you?
it at me, and I caught it in my chin. You ruined my
Danielle?
podcast, Danielle.
We can
No, I'm just
do
kidding.
a new fresh
I'm just kidding.
outro.
No. But yeah. So before we wrap this up and end it off, I want to hear a prediction from each of you. Just one prediction.
Oh, jeez.
Let's start with who wants to start.
Who's even left on like the trade board? Like of the names.
I mean, I don't know, man. Just think.
to NHL deadline.
I still think Tierney's gonna go somewhere. Where? I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say Boston. I'm gonna say Tierney goes to Boston. That's what I'm gonna say.
I think the Avalanche are going to do something.
They've got to do something, yeah.
They lost Landeskog, yeah?
Supposedly he'll be back for the playoffs. I believe that
But-
they lost him to make room to grab someone.
Okay, I'll say because this is one I had thought about, but then I was always saying, nah, probably not, because he hadn't gotten into any game action. Toronto needs some goalie help. Got a cheap Jake Allen. We can retain a Jake Allen.
Ooh, wow.
He's come
retain on
back
him.
in. He's looked solid. He's looked solid the last few games. I
That's
think he had
interesting.
like 29 saves and 30 shots last night against Ottawa.
So yours is Jake Allen to Toronto.
What are you gonna give us? Because he's signed for a couple years. He's pretty damn good. What are we gonna get?
That's true. That's true.
Gonna get a Matthew Nice?
No chance that they trading him.
No, probably not. But I don't
They'll give
know.
you
I could
something
see
nice,
that
maybe.
maybe. Somebody who needs goalie help should be calling the Habs about Jake
They
Allen.
should be. How much is his hit?
I think it's 2.75.
Freaking A, yeah.
But
maybe the Lightning will call you guys up.
Even then, just be like, hey, Habs, retain 750, even 2, make it an even 2, we'll take it, or whatever, something like that. I don't know. I feel like he's somebody who is of value for what he can provide, because I'm sure his stats from earlier this year aren't great, because no goalie stats on the Habs team this year are very good, because they couldn't do shit for like 50 games.
True.
But he's the only reason they made the playoffs last year. They would not have with the way they were going in that season and without Carey.
Yep.
He is just he's not spectacular. He's not going to steal a series for you, but
He's just
Toronto who is a team that, like Steve Dangle, I think has said this several times in the podcast, they don't need a goalie to steal a series for them. They need a goalie to stand back there and just make all of the saves that they should. And that is literally Jake Allen to a T. I mean, he had some pretty bad ones going earlier this year and sometimes in openings of games, but that was because he was getting hung out to dry by a Habs defense that couldn't play together. He is that prototypical goalie, so I would wonder if they'd maybe look at him, because again, even cap wise, I think of the goalies out there that would actually be significant enough to like, let's make a move for him. Like, you're not going to go out there and just get some like third stringer, just be like, yes, this is going to solve our goalie problem.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of like viable options of like guys who could actually make a difference, I think he's the most affordable one. So I don't know. I'd be interested to see if, or even Edmonton, that matter, would maybe be interested.
Oh yeah, Edmonton. But that would make sense.
I don't know. Yet to be seen. We'll know by 3 p.m. tomorrow.
What do you think, Nick? Yeah, anything spicy for us, Mr. Hot Take Specialist?
No, I mean, I was gonna die on the hill of Edmonton going after a goalie, but from what you guys said, it doesn't sound like they're going to. I think Varlamov is still going to move out of.
I forgot about him.
Off the island. I think he's going to go.
That would make sense.
Where he goes, I don't know. I think he will go, though.
Cotton-eyed Joe.
What contender would need him? He's going to Vegas.
Oh,
Vegas does need goalie help.
Hey, that could be good. That could happen.
Ooh, what does Vegas want for Jake Allen? or what can we have? Fuck, whatever.
All right. We'll see you in the next one, everybody. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let us know down in the comments. I would say what trades you think are going to happen, but it's already happened. So what trades?
Time you listen to this.
What
trades did we miss, and what did we sound dumb with some of the stuff that we said? Let us know.
Or
I
did
also
we
want to
sound
know what your
smart?
thoughts are. Winners and losers of this year's trade deadline.
That's good. Yep. Who won? Who lost? Ultimately, that will probably be decided at the end of the season, or however the team's season ends. But
yeah,
getting on with that, we hope you enjoyed your trade deadline Monday, and we hope you enjoy the rest of this week. And we'll see you in the next week.